The reason why there's always Black diaspora wars on TikTok, and when I say Black diaspora, I mean Black Americans versus insert country in the Black diaspora here, because that's what it always is. Like America has taught Americans to believe that America is the center of the world, and that is a fact. I live in America. America acts like America is the be-all and end-all, but the rest of the world know that it isn't. And so, by default, Black Americans may think that way. Not only that, Black Americans are aware that their Black American culture has been exported all over the world and is aware that the whole world has their eyes on them. And again, if you're in a country and you're aware that the whole world has their eyes on you, but you aren't aware of any of them, you're going to believe, subconsciously or consciously, that it's because you are the best or you are better. And it's not necessarily true. It's actually because you're the most popular. Like, Black Americans think that, not all of them, some of them on this app think that they're the best at what they do. And it's not to say Black Americans aren't exceptional, because they are. They're just not more exceptional than the rest of the Black diaspora. The thing is, they are being exceptional in a country that has the world's eyes on it. And the reason why America has the world's eyes on it is because all the money and power from slavery went to America. And Americans are living in America. You literally live, Black Americans live in a country that has been propped up the most by slavery. But let's be clear, the difference between America and like Jamaica and all the other countries is because all the money from Caribbean slavery didn't go to the Caribbean. If the money from Caribbean slavery went to the Caribbean and the Caribbean was propped up like America, then all eyes would be on the Caribbean as well. If the money from African colonization went to Africa instead of Europe, and Africa was propped up by colonization and slavery, just like America is, the whole world's eyes would be on Africa. But because the only country that has a predominantly like big Black community in it that has been propped up the most by slavery and had the money actually returned back to the country is America, that is why America is a superpower way it is. But that doesn't mean that Black Americans are somehow more exceptional than Black people from other countries. In America, just like in Jamaica, the Black people that were born in America like did great things and set standards and broke down walls and barriers, and they should be celebrated for that. And I feel like the world does celebrate Black Americans for that. But don't think that Black Americans are somehow better than the rest of the diaspora, because no one's better than anyone. None of us. No one in the diaspora thinks that, I mean, maybe people like jokingly think it, but no, like most of the diaspora understand that we're all interlinked. So no one can really be better than anyone because we're all mixed. We're all essentially African and we're all essentially Caribbean. We're just a melting pot. But America seems to other itself sometimes. As a diaspora, we kind of know that the main person in charge of everything is Africa, because that's where we're all from. We've all, whether you're Black British, Black German, Caribbean, African, we all understand that. So we just assume that America understood that too. And what we're finding out, some people in America do not believe that their Blackness is linked to Africa. America might have shown Black Americans in not a positive light, and there's a need to hold on to the culture, there's a need to preserve their culture, etc. But all these things are valid, but on top of it, we just think we're all one. Someone asked me, why is it that like Black Brits can feel the need to play our American heroes? Like, why don't they feel shame in playing our American heroes? And I'm like, because you think your American heroes are just yours. They're not. They're also ours. Like, my heroes were Martin Luther King growing up too. So it's like, yes, they are Black American people, but they're Black people first. And so Black Brits are also Black people first. So like, it doesn't matter. You're Black. I see myself in Black Americans because you're Black and I'm Black. Like,
didn't work. What was going on?
The undocumented workers would come into the office in groups. They would provide them either permits or driver's license illegally. So they will bypass without even taking the test.
How much?
$200 a person.
Up to 5 times a day, she says.
Was this an everyday thing?
Almost, yes.
I first reported on the driver's license fraud investigation in April after getting my hands on one of the state's revocation letters. We learned the transportation cabinet sent more than 1,500 of them in 5 months, telling drivers their license was issued in error and must be returned or they could be criminally charged. At the time, state officials confirmed at least 2 terminations, and ongoing state and federal investigations focused on the NIA Center in West Louisville and the E-Town license branch. But they denied all of our records requests, withholding 2,300 documents on the fraud. Mormon's story fills in the blanks.
I found out it may have been going on for a couple of years before it was found out.
We're told it wasn't as simple as people getting state-issued driver's license or permits without taking the test. She says 2 of her colleagues at the NIA Center approached her with a business venture, asking if she wanted to get in on the scheme.
I was asked to bring certain customers in, and they are brought in to me without signing in. And you would scan their documents as usual.
Documents made to look legitimate, like birth certificates and social security cards, according to the letter she wrote to the state. But a key to pulling off this scheme was making sure the required Homeland Security screening was never run.
I start getting these emails saying, are you doing this? Are you doing this? Are you doing this?
And that's where it unraveled. She says those workers were using her login, a password she says her bosses made her share, as all workers at the driver's license branch did not have their own. And Mormon was training to be.
Black people. I had my first day today at a new job, and basically, without going too far into it, my job is to schedule care for people that need it. A lot of this job is going through applications for people who want to give care. I learned today, if it is a name that does not sound white, we are to move it to the completed tasks. We then note your application as moved due to name standards. Now, it's my first day, so I ask, what does that mean? I'm black, I'm very light-skinned, obviously. And she says, And I said, you mean like our names? Like our names? Because I thought it was like a brand standard, like, no, it's literally our names. So I just want you to know, and everybody else to know, this 100% happens, and I have 122 screenshots of people, their names, their phone numbers, and their email addresses, and the reason why they weren't hired directly because of their name. Then I have this. I didn't even make it 1 hour. After I got my heart rate to stop spiking, I went and found the owner like I planned and asked her directly, super calm. She didn't deny any of it. She admitted that it's, fucked up. She apologized. I told her that I don't think this is going to be a good fit because this is not something that I would be willing to participate in. I made sure to keep it like professional and not scary, like not threatening. So I have a phone call with my guy later this afternoon. I'm going to go ahead and let him tell me how to proceed. I know that this happens. It's just that I personally have never experienced this type of training. If they have a name that sounds like this or that's jacked up, we don't do it because we have standards. Like, I guess we're going on a journey, and eventually we're going to say who it is.
I'm just trying to figure out, why is it all of these folks that are from elsewhere that come to the United States that always want to speak on Black Americans? This is why I keep trying to tell people before that Black Americans, okay, I'll put it like this. She wants to state that Black Americans are not the center of the universe, right? So she came here to the United States because of who? Why did she come to the United States and run and flee from wherever it is that she decided to come from? It's because Black Americans made a cushion here. We made it comfortable for a lot of other people to be here, because why is she not in Switzerland? Why she's not in Poland? Why she's not in Finland? Why she's not in Austria, right? Lithuania. There's a lot of other places that she could have been around the world, but she opted to come to the United States. Like I said before, it's funny how people want to say something but then they're here because of the same people that they decide to, in a sense, try to talk negatively or try to speak down directly upon. Then she wanted to state that, oh, well, the reason why America is the eye of the world is because of slavery. So you're giving credit to Black Americans again, historically, which is factually, which is true, right? And she was like, well, it's because during slavery, all of the money that, slavery ended up generating, it went right back to America. So yeah, Black Americans were used as slave labor in the United States, and this is why the United States has the finances that it currently has at this moment in time and forever going. This is all factual. So you're getting mad at the fact that the people who made a situation profited from a situation and then, quote unquote, let's just say, reinvested it into the exact same place. That's just like getting mad at Google for basically owning YouTube and having YouTube as a giant advertising platform and reinvesting that money so that they can make more money. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? And then what you're going to say that YouTube is not the eye of the world? You're going to say that people aren't paying attention to YouTube, going directly to, like, do you see where I'm getting at? Do you see where I'm going? Maybe that's the wrong example. Maybe it's not close enough. I'm not sure, but I feel as though that I'm pretty close while explaining this. What I'm saying is everything that she is stating, it in a sense does not even make sense. It doesn't make sense. If these other places are equal, then equally you should be in all of these other places, because no one place is better than the other. But obviously you didn't take yourself to the islands. You obviously didn't take yourself to the UK or stay there, and you obviously didn't go to Africa. Why is that? If all of these places are in a sense equal because Black people are there, right? There is no differentiation. No one's better than the other. Then you should equally live in all these places, but you're not going to do that. And I'm pretty sure in a lot of these other places, there's Africans directly out there that will tell you directly to your face that their culture is better than Black Americans. Their culture is better than other people's cultures and traditions around the world, and they have that right to sit up there and say that because they are of that culture. Everybody has a right to say something directly about their culture, but it's just very interesting that when it deals with Black Americans, everybody wants to now make this type of rule that you can't say that because we're all Black. We all come from somewhere. We're all from the diaspora, so that makes us all equal footing and this, that, and no, it doesn't. It doesn't. Rap and hip hop just by itself. Let's just take rap and hip hop by itself. Where's everybody else at? Who else put that on the platform that it is currently on? Italians didn't do it. Germans, Australians, Asians, Canadians, Jamaicans, Haitians, Mexicans, Africa. None of y'all set up there. It was Black Americans that did it. The fashion that comes directly from it, Black Americans. Trends that come directly from it, Black Americans. So it's like, what are we even talking about? Like, do you know how often, let's just go to track and field. You know how often you have the when track and field, when the Jamaicans are running, and everybody around the world is like, yo, Jamaicans are da-da-da-da, all this other type of stuff. But then you would have Americans like, yo, we can compete. We can sit up there and do something and rah-rah-rah and all this other type of stuff. But then you have the Jamaicans that will do their subtleties to basically say that they are the best, they are number one, and all this other stuff. But nobody says anything, right? When Jamaicans come directly out there, no matter if they win or lose, and still say that they're basically number one, they are the ones to basically beat. Nobody bats an eye, nobody says anything, right? But if Black Americans happen to do the exact same thing and say it the way that Black Americans happen to say it, now people are like, oh, you're too cocky, you're this, you're that, you need some humility, you need this, I'm tired of people trying to come online and tell Black Americans to be humble about something. That's crazy. That's 100% crazy. That is 1,000% crazy. Like I said, if we were quote unquote so humble about everything, y'all really wouldn't even want to be here. Y'all really wouldn't even want to be a part of the culture, right? Because it would be like everybody else's stuff. Mum is the word. Everybody's walking silently. Everybody's walking quietly and all this. Like, no, we don't have time for that. We've been told to pipe down, to calm down. We've been told that we don't have no history. We've been told that we don't have no culture. We don't have no language. We don't have no traditions. We don't have this. We've been basically essentially told by everybody around the planet that if you are a Black American, you are nothing because you have nothing. You come from nothing. So you mean to tell me that out of looking at every single person, every single ethnicity come out of the woodworks to jump on this bandwagon to talk about Black Americans, that we don't have a reason to stand 10 toes down, to stand tall with our chest up, and to be proud about something that we created or how it is that we feel about ourselves, or to exude some type of confidence? No. We don't need to. Y'all need to fix all of y'all insecurities. That's what needs to happen. The moment in time that you're trying to tell another person to stop being proud of who it is that they are, that has to do with your own insecurities of yourself, of your culture, of where it is that you come from, how proud you really supposedly are about yourself and your people and your family and what it is that you've done historically and all of those things. That has zero to do with Black Americans. That has zero to do with Black Americans. We do not have no type of control of that. Y'all need to go see a psych. Y'all need to go see a therapist. Y'all might need a family mediator, something. I don't know. But don't come here to the United States and try to tell Black Americans that we need to relax. We need to calm down and all. No, shut up. Go home. Be anywhere else but here. Click your heels 3 times and disappear. Like, yo, y'all don't understand nothing. Y'all still out here talking crazy and wild. I don't care how lightly y'all want to sit up there and speak it. Y'all still being disrespectful. And it's ridiculous. And y'all be poking and prodding directly at us. And y'all be expecting us not to have some type of response. And the only response that y'all got is like, oh, everybody's from Africa. You're from Africa. Your ancestor slaves are from. Like, y'all acting like that was just our original start. Out of everybody on the whole planet that went through slavery, Black Americans are the only ones where every other nation and culture be like, you guys are just slaves. That's the only history that you have. That is your starting point. Word? But everybody had slavery though. And before that slavery, everybody had other history and information before that. But due to the fact of America, due to the fact of history being hidden, and not just by way of America, but other peoples directly out there that are on the same team with America, even though they try to act like they're not. Due to all of these moving and hidden parts, a lot of Black American history has been hidden. It has been stolen. It has been rewritten, right? Some things might even be in plain sight, but we can't exactly read it because, again, our language and everything like that was taken away. We were taught, indoctrinated into something else. And at this moment in time, you have Black Americans like, you know what? We're not about to believe the narrative of those who basically stole us, stole our language, stole our families and our kids and all of our history. We're not going to 100% take that narrative anymore. We're going to start looking around and trying to figure some things out for ourselves versus the stuff that we have been force fed. In a moment in time that we start to really resist like that, magically everybody around the world is in shock. They'll be like, how dare you? How could you decide that you don't want to acknowledge Africa and this, that, and everybody else? Because we decided that we don't want to believe the lies that everybody else wants us to believe. And magically that becomes a problem. You would actually think that other people would be cheering us on like, yeah, Black Americans, go figure out who you are. Go learn your history. Everybody's like, no, shut up. Take this version of history. You are African. Everything started from Africa. Slaves are stolen from Africa by the millions. We don't have the ships at all. We got history and records of everything, but we don't really have the ships because of, weathering or whatever other excuse that we have. But just know that you guys were brought here by Caucasians, and you were pretty much just made slaves, and that's it. Like, just go with that history. It's like, why fight against it? Right? You don't see everybody else fighting against history, but that's because everybody else's history isn't really hidden. It's still there, still in plain sight. It might be buried amongst, sand or maybe some flora or different things of that nature, but they still have things there that they can trace back, or even oral history. Black Americans lost a lot of that because we lost a lot of our main important libraries, which is our family members, our kids. Within that, we lost everything. But like I said before, this further shows, just in case a lot of people not paying attention, this further shows the teams that people are actually on. The moment in time that you got these people consistently talking about us, and they don't want us to try to figure out something, or to try to, use critical thinking instead of listening to the masses, instead of listening to the government, right? That has enabled a lot of these things to happen. It's letting you know who these people really play for. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that I stated in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.